Jared, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Here at Sanford.
Yeah, man. Awesome gym, right?
Bro, it's ridiculous.
How lucky am I?
Talk about moving over here.
Well, I was at Rufus Sport. Loved it there. Loved all my teammates and the coaches. Just wasn't the right fit for me. Plus, my fiance was living down here in South Florida. Known Henry for like over 10 years now. So when I would come down here to see my girl, he would, tell me to come train. And then I decided to make the full move here. It was easier for me going back and forth from Wisconsin and paying rent in 2 different locations. It's like a little ridiculous. And Sanford was just more of a fit, like more my style, more grappling oriented. And I love it here. And plus we have this amazing facility and everything is just way more convenient. It's sunny and warm here, unlike Wisconsin, where it's like 9 months of winter.
A New York kid in Florida.
Yeah, which is normal, right? Everyone here is from New York or New Jersey or like Philadelphia, so it's really like I'm just in a sunny New York.
Said that you're getting married on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, excited?
Yeah, of course. It's going to be an awesome wedding down in Coconut Grove in Miami. Got all my friends, family, coaches are coming, some teammates.
What teammates?
Tuco, Brendan Allen, Jason the Strout, the coach. Henry's coming. Greg Jones is supposed to come, but he went to Abu Dhabi this weekend. Kami's coming. I think that's it as far as teammates. Couldn't invite everybody. Yeah, but it's good. I'm super excited, super pumped. It's gonna be an awesome party. People are like, man, I fought a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, the real fight's October 29th when I get married. I'm not really worried about the UFC fight. I'm worried about getting married.
Fighting back those tears when you say your vows?
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't even wrote them yet. I'm supposed to, I think. I gotta get on that, but yeah, it should be an interesting night.
Coming off the win off of Joe Solecki, man.
Oh, you know who's coming also? Sorry, real quick.
It's all good.
Bilal Muhammad's coming. He's in my wedding party. I'm thinking about just my gym here. Who else? I invited Felder, but he's got to work the desk. Like an asshole, he couldn't take off.
Felder dissed you, huh?
My buddy Craig, his wife is coming, Craig Eckelberg. He's a teammate from Rufus Sport. He's in the Army now, so he can't leave training. I was like, wow, how important is that? You're in the Army. Oh, you can't come to my wedding because you're in the Army. But yeah, so it should be awesome. But carry on.
I was gonna say, so Felder dissed you, huh?
Yeah, Felder dissed me. Apparently Dom Cruz is taking off for his fight. They need him to work the booth. And I was like, whatever, man, just send me a good gift or something.
Coming off a win, Joe Solecki, man. It was a great win. Talk about it.
Yeah, Joe was a stud, 3-0, coming into UFC on a 6-fight winning streak. Just beat Jim Miller pretty decisively right before me. So, seeing that, I'm like, wow, he beat a veteran like Jim Miller. He subbed Austin Hubbard. I forget who else he fought for that and won. But yeah, submission expert. He's been doing jiu-jitsu for a really long time. Definite. He's an expert in grappling jiu-jitsu. So I was obviously concerned with that. And, I knew that I had more fight in me and more like will to want to win, and I just feel like it's my time now. I'm hitting my stride finally. I haven't been on a winning streak in a while, so here I am, and a win like Joe was huge. Over Joe was huge for me, I think, and I think I'll get a really big fight next. So.
That first round, man.
I know. Stupid, right?
What was I guess what was going through your mind? What did your coaches tell you?
My coaches were like, don't throw any kicks or knees in the first round. Just defend the shots. So he comes in, he shoots. I throw a knee to try to time him, and I miss. And he runs through me and ends up in side control. Gets wrist control, and I'm like, that's my game too. Like, I know how to defend that and get up, and I just couldn't. And like, he was on me like glue. And I think he was like, all right, I got him in position, good position, and I think he thought he was gonna finish me there. But I've been, I'm a grappler also. I got my purple and my brown belt from John Danaher. I got my brown belt like 4 years ago. I have wins over high-level black belts, and I train with high-level guys nonstop. So I knew the whole plan was, all right, don't let him on your back. So I was doing everything I could to not let him get there, and I ran the cage with my feet, and he took my back. And then I'm like, all right, weird. Why am I here? And I'm like, all right, I can escape. And I was doing everything I could, man. I was worried about wrist control, obviously, so he couldn't take my neck, but his hooks and his arms were so tight that I just couldn't hop over one and get my back to the mat. I was going side to side, and he just was tight as, he was like a leech. And finally I stood up, and he was coming off the side, and he went for a guillotine. I wasn't gonna give him that. And I ended up in side control on top with like a minute left, and I could feel him deflate. All that control must have burned his arms out, and I'm like, all right, now it's my turn. I couldn't really get that much offense off in that last minute, but I knew going into the second round, all right, I gotta like take control here. And I did. At the beginning of the second round, he faked a shot, and I showed the uppercut, and he didn't shoot. And then as soon as I did that, he shot, and I threw the uppercut, and it landed, and he wobbled. And when I saw him wobble, I was like, yes! And I threw a big right hand, but he got an underhook and took me down, but I knew he was still hurt. I got up, and then I went to work, and I broke him. I physically, I think I broke him mentally before physically. But once your mind goes, your body goes, My body normally breaks before my mind does. Like, I'll break bones or I'll be bleeding everywhere. But I knew, like, going into the third round, I clearly won the second round. I knew going into the third, I was in control, and I could see he was very hesitant on the feet. I just knew I couldn't let him get a takedown. And that's it. I knew when the fight ended that I did enough. I wasn't really concerned with the judges getting it wrong. I was pretty sure I had it sealed. And when they said, I thought it was a unanimous decision. They gave me a split decision. Assholes. But they got it right, so that's all that matters. And I was happy. Obviously, huge win for me. And then like going into my wedding, like I'm the biggest sore loser, man. I'll be depressed for months after losing. So feeling good, and this is the best I ever felt, physically, mentally, spiritually. So
how did it feel to give Joe his first UFC loss?
I know what it feels like to lose. So like I don't like seeing people lose. I mean, obviously someone has to lose, or there's a draw, which rarely happens. But when I see people lose, even like when I'm watching fights, I'm like, oh, I feel for that guy. Like I know that feeling, especially after like a brutal loss, like a bad loss. Like, Joe lost a split decision. It's not like I knocked him unconscious and like hurt him and he had to go to the hospital. I think it was probably a good learning experience for him, and he's going to be around for a long time. But at this level, like you're going to lose. Like some of the best strikers get knocked out, best grapplers lose. So I mean, it's the game. I just think it's my time, and I'm ready to. I'm only up from here.
Well, is there one thing that you could take away from that fight?
Yeah, don't listen to your coaches. Don't throw a knee when they're telling you not to. Easier said than done, though, in the heat of the moment. Like when you're in there, like people are like, "Oh, why don't you just do this?" I'm like, well, if you were in there, I want to see you just do that. Like, tell me what to. If I got people are like, "Why don't you just knock him out?" And I'm like, if I can go into every fight and just knock a guy out, I would, you know, like, but it doesn't work that way. So, but like, it was a great win for me, come behind win. And I think it will show my other opponents, and I know for myself that, like, all right, like, you win the first round, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna lose the fight. Like, I'm still working to win. Like, I'm not gonna mentally get. A lot of people I think would have just folded, you know, or given up the submission in the first round. I wasn't about to do that.
Then you call out Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know what's gonna come of that. Obviously, my next fight will be my 10th UFC fight. He's only had one. I did it to get eyes on me. And yeah, if they wanted to put the fight together, I would fight him, obviously. I would fight anyone. I mean, I think I've proven that. I fought Oliveira on short notice. He was on a 6-fight winning streak. I don't give a shit who it is. If I could skip the line and beat a big name, then I will. If I can get eyes on me and fight a guy like Paddy, then I will. So, yeah, I mean, and it's nothing malicious. And he knows that, and you know, he had called me out earlier. That's the only reason why I said his name. So, and he wasn't being malicious. And we met kind of. He was at my gym a long time ago in New York, Henzo's, and we were friends on Instagram forever, or you know, we were whatever you want to call it on Instagram. And
follow buddies.
We were following each other for a long time. So like, it's nothing malicious. But he was like, oh, I'll finish him in the first round, and you know, he's got to keep that persona, which I understand. Like, I'll never talk shit unless you talk shit to me. Like, if you start trying to be, like, there's another side of me that no one really knows about. I could turn into that criminal again if you want me to, you know? I don't want to bring that Jared out, though, because that Jared will end up in prison, you know? And but don't bring it out of me, because you'll see some shit you don't want to see, you know?
So, has there been any conversation about that Paddy fight?
I mean, I briefly talked to my managers, and they were like, we don't know if it'll happen. They want to, you know, they'll probably try to build him, which is understandable. No, I fought, and I told my manager, look, I'm getting married this month. I gotta give my fiance some attention, because she makes fun of me all the time. Like, when I'm watching UFC, she'll be like, she does this thing where she's like, MMA all day. And she's like, I'm Jared, MMA, I love MMA. Like, she makes fun of me all the time, because all I think and talk about is fighting. All I do all day long is fight. And, you know, but she's right. I have to, like, separate myself from the sport, because otherwise, you know, it's just not healthy for you. You know, mentally and spiritually, it's not healthy. But no, I'm getting married, I'm going on my honeymoon, and then we got the holidays. You know, this is America. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, those are important holidays for me. And then I'm getting my 6-year sober day is December 27th, so a big couple of months coming up. But I would like to get back in there January, February. I don't want to take like 6 months off from fighting, you know.
January,
I want to get a couple in this year, like I would love to fight 3 or 4 times in the next year's time. So
awesome. And so January, February. If you don't get that Paddy fight, is there anybody else that you want?
I have not thought about it. I don't care who it is.
Just anybody.
Yeah, like, you want to give me a name, I'll fight him. One thing I do want to mention though is Recreate Behavioral Health Network. I work with the treatment center. We're helping all different kinds of people. I just got a professional athlete into treatment, and we have facilities in Florida, South Florida. We got one in New Jersey, and we just opened one in Long Island. And we're just trying to help people like me, addicts, alcoholics, people with mental health problems that self-medicate. We can handle everything, and huge shout out to them. They've been nothing but supportive to me. They support my fighting career, they support my sobriety, and we're just trying to help other people. So if you could throw that in this article, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I love that. You know, as an addict myself, I love that you support that, and you talk about it, right? And you give other people, you give other athletes, they say, oh, Jared's talking about my addiction, now I can.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Lee just, he was dumping his Adderall or ADHD medicine into the sink, and it's like cry for help, I think. I highly doubt that medicine is the only thing that he is using. He's probably drinking, smoking, maybe other drugs. You know, we're fighters, so painkillers could be involved. And then, you know, party drugs, and then it just gets worse from there. So, you know, I think there's a lot of people that are obviously suffering. I don't have to name the names that we see, you know. I mean, Jason Miller, again, another arrest. You know, I don't want to mention him again, except John Jones. You know, there's millions of people, and there's people that we don't know about that are suffering, and, you know, athletes and regular public people that need help. So all I'm trying to do is help you, man. It's not about me fighting. It's about, I gotta win, obviously, to have a platform, but and it's a way to make my living. But you know, it's about other people. Just trying to use my platform to help others. I've been saying this forever. A lot of people don't care. A lot of people are like, oh, he keeps riding this drug addict thing. Like, no one cares. I've literally had like people on Twitter and Instagram like, no one cares that you're a junkie. You're probably gonna relapse anyways. Like, you're riding this junkie wave. Like, I'm like, bro. Meanwhile, I think I'm underrated as a fighter. So, but I'll show them. It's coming.
Awesome, man. If you want to plug your social media, plug another sponsors.
Jared Flash Gordon on Instagram, J Flash Gordon MMA on Twitter, Recreate Behavioral Health Network. They're my biggest sponsor, I think. Sanford MMA, and do I have other sponsors?
Do you?
I don't think so. No one that really like does much for me. They sent me a couple of fucking supplements. Thanks.
You know what? I lied. Flash Gordon. Is that nickname just kind of speak for itself?
I mean, so I didn't get that because I was like super fast. Because I'm really not, obviously. I'm just like a regular. I'm like an average athlete, you know. But as far as like my cardio, my coach started calling me Flash Gordon because I wouldn't stop moving. Like I always had good cardio, so he called me. You know, my last name is Gordon, so just first he just started calling me Flash. It had nothing to do with The Flash, the cartoon, or the comic book, or Flash Gordon, the fucking Jets quarterback. Yeah, it had nothing to do with that. It was just coincidence, and it was like a shtick on my name, so it stuck, and I've been getting called that since I was like 17. So I am Flash.